welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us during the break. We are back as I unmute the cast members. How's it going, cast?
I'm excited to play Daisy.
I don't know why. It's just misclicked. It was a misclick.
Uh-huh.
That's trademarked.
Actually, I think it is. I'm pretty sure they're gonna trademark misclicks. Anyways, if they haven't already. Thanks for sticking with us during the break. Week 9, Dunces and Dragons. We are in the middle of talking with a barrister, a public defender here in the town of Lepidstadt. This gentleman is tasked with the defense, the legal defense of the Beast of Lepidstadt, who is who's on trial currently for many deaths in the area surrounding Lepidstadt, as well as arson. And the odds are stacked against the Beast, and we have been secretly tasked by a judge in the area to get down to the bottom of things and make sure that the truth is outed, as the British say. So yeah, we're in the middle of talking with this gentleman, kind of in preparation of some of the legal discovery that we're going to be doing for the case as public defenders.
So he was telling you that the Beast broke into the university and was actually apprehended in the Antiquities Department, and then brought over and restrained at the basement of the courthouse to await trial.
Okay.
Okay. I love those awkward moments that we have. Like, okay.
Well, I always know what I want to say as soon as he quits talking, but I'm trying to give everybody else a chance to do some talking.
Lemmy doesn't give a shit.
Well, you got something to say, dude. Say it.
Well,
Yeah, say it. Say it and proud.
This isn't the Lemnisket show. It's.
Well, I mean,
I've talked-
obviously, but like, I mean, sometimes what you say kind of inspires more, conversation from us. So like, it doesn't.
Okay. I ask him, is there been any kind of evidence he was after a specific item, correct?
I know that there was one statuette that was missing from what was in there, in the collections that they know of, but otherwise I'm not sure.
Get off.
Okay, the professor at the Antiquities Department did tell us that he was after a specific ornament that had tentacles and penises and things. So we were
effigy.
Academics.
So is there any way we can meet with the Beast? Talk with him? Does he talk? Do you know?
It can speak, yes. But I want to go over sort of the structure of the trial a little bit more before we go down and
sounds good.
Meet our client.
Before we go down.
And so then he goes into just kind of talking about the structure of the trial, and he says the opening hearing was actually has already happened, and then tomorrow the actual proper trial section is going to begin, where they'll present evidence and make arguments for defense and accusations and stuff like that. And he says you've probably been informed. Even though the Beast was caught in the university in the break-in, that's not actually what he's being tried for. The prosecution has made sure to pick the Beast's most recent, most heinous crimes as the actual things they're trying to, kill it over, to sort of garner support from everyone around, because it's fresh wounds that people haven't gotten over what happened yet. So tomorrow, he says that the evidence and arguments will be made for the events that supposedly took place in the small village of Morast. And he says you may have known he is accused of having killed at least 10 people in this small hamlet within the last year. And so this is probably the thing I need you to get evidence on the quickest, because we'll be presenting on it tomorrow. And then he goes on to say the next day of the trial, they'll be talking about what the beast did in another small village called Hergstog, where he's accused of having killed several children. And then the third day will involve evidence for what the beast is accused of, the attack and arson on the doctor's sanctuary. I was like, why is she talking? I can't hear. She's on the phone.
No, I'm not. Oh, she.
No,
okay.
Rachel is.
What town was it where there was arson?
Arson was in a town. It was a kind of a stopover on the road called Sanctuary, where a doctor had set up a practice for weary travelers that were in need of medical attention. And he's the doctor there is a well-known person and liked among the travelers for fair prices and good work that he'd do on people that needed it.
Okay. And these three things are what are going to be discussed over the next couple of days in his trial.
Yeah, these are the official accusations on the court records that he's being tried for. There are numerous others I could have chosen from, but like I said, these are the most heinous, the most recent. So these are the ones they're hoping will, give him an open and shut case.
Okay.
Cool.
He says, unless there's any other questions, we can go down and you can attempt to communicate with the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go talk to him.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Sorry about that, guys. I greatly apologize. That was my sister. She's been in the emergency room.
Oh, goodness.
So I was just making sure she was okay. So sorry about that.
Well, I guess if
Is
you
she
talk
okay?
to her, if you talk to her, at least she's not dead.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
That's what a lot of my old people do. I'm like, I'll kind of stand next to them and I'll take their blood pressure, and they're like, "Am I still alive?" And I'm like, "You're talking to me, aren't you?" And they just kind of laugh at me. I'm like, "You're alive." Anyways.
So on roll 20, y'all will need to scroll to the bottom right where I have moved you. Barrister Koppel leads you out of his office and back down to the first floor where you open up a trapdoor in the floor to go down into the dungeon area underneath the courthouse. And as you're coming down into this area, you hear the sounds of a couple of guards kind of, yelling obscenities and giving the beast a hard time and rattling stuff in its cage and stuff. And then you actually notice the beast itself, which is this towering monstrosity that is pretty much, like everyone says, sewn together with wires, bits and pieces of other large humanoid creatures. Right now it is bound to a chair in its cell by 12 different chains just all over its body to make sure it can't move. But it's it's still got a lot of fire in its eyes, and its muscles are all ripply, and you can see veins pulsing as it's being antagonized by the guards that are keeping watch on it right now. And its face is sort of a patchwork of different skin tones, and its mouth is in a permanent snarl. And there's just sort of one lock of hair kind of from the top of its head that wafts over in its face, kind of an emo fashion.
So it looks like the Hound from Game of Thrones.
Well, I mean, its hair is kind of like the Hound, I guess, but not the burned face.
That's why I put the patched together princesses from Adventure Time.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
You can, if you know what we're talking about as far as Adventure Time, that's
Kind of the idea.
It's a
Less
pretty good
cartoony though.
And as you guys get down there, the Barrister Koppel kind of clears his throat at the guards, and they sort of give a few more jangles of metal objects against the cage and back off and stop messing with the thing for right now. And he says, I present to you the Beast of Lepidstadt. And it sort of growls toward you.
I
mean, this thing is it's humanoid. 2 legs and 2 arms and just
Right.
10-foot tall, muscly thing sewed together.
Well, I have something I want to do real quick. I have a special thing called Detect Evil.
Mhm.
And what it says about it says, at will, you can use Detect Evil as a spell. You can, as a move action, concentrate on a single individual or item within 60 feet and determine whether it's evil, learning the strength of its aura as if having studied it for 3 rounds. While
Mhm.
focusing on one individual or object, you do not detect any other object or individual within range. So,
Mhm.
I want to detect evil on him and kind of
Okay.
learn about him, like, through his aura and shit.
So you apply your power, and you do not detect any presence of evil on the creature.
Really?
Hmm.
I'm gonna tell the
Mm.
guys.
You gonna tell us?
Yeah, I'm like, guys, he's not evil. Like, I can tell because I'm paladin and shit.
As she
You know shit.
As she says
That makes sense.
I I'm gonna walk straight up to the cage, basically.
Okay.
Like, no fear, no repulsion or anything like that. And
As you're stepping toward it, it does snarl at you when you get close.
I say, please, could you tell me your name? How should I talk to you? How should I address you?
Let's see. It sort of, it really just kind of outright yells at you and yanks at its chains and stuff and sort of jiggles around in response, basically, to your question.
I say, we are here not to antagonize you. We are here to uncover the truth, the absolute truth of what has happened to you and the things that you have done or haven't done. Is there any point in making a diplomacy roll for this?
There's always a point in making a diplomacy
Okay,
roll.
I'm gonna make a diplomacy roll for this.
XP.
Do it.
I'm a noob and I forgot what my diplomacy is. It's +9. 29.
After saying that, it calms down somewhat. It still looks highly agitated, but it's not in a rage face right now.
Rage face.
And it just sort of kind of blurts out at you, "I didn't do it."
I say, first off, I tell him, I do not wish to call you by the name that the town has given you. Could you give me your name so I can address you properly?
It shakes its chains again and it just goes, "I have no name, I am just a beast." Brah.
Let's call him Mr. Sir.
Mr. Sir. Mr. Sir, we don't care about what the rest of the people in the town are saying, or what guards are saying, or what anyone else is saying, except for the people, what people have seen in the area of the towns that you have supposedly been seen in, and what you say. You say that you didn't do these terrible things. Could you give me any kind of proof or evidence or anything that I can work with to kind of to show that you weren't the cause, or you weren't the being that did these heinous crimes?
As he's doing that, can I turn to the guards and ask them if they would mind either stepping into the stairwell or just not? I mean, we'll call them if we need them, but can I use my intimidate to ask them to do that?
They kind of give each other some looks as you say this to them, but begrudgingly head up the stairs.
Nice.
Say
Yeah.
thank you as they leave.
You get the fuck out of
Gracias.
here. Thanks.
Pat you on the shoulder. Say
Totes
good job,
appreciate
cuz.
it.
Thank you. Thank
Jingle, jangle, jingle.
you. Yes.
I was gonna say,
Sam.
what the hell was that? But I realized.
It's a
My
puppy.
deaf dog.
It's okay. My cat's been on the screen the whole time almost. Right,
The beast again kind of snarls out, I didn't do it! And the only thing I have any memory of is what happened at Hergstad. I know nothing about these other crimes for which I am accused.
Tell me about
where-
Hergstad.
Please.
Let me remember it on my iPad. Hold on.
Pulls out an iPad that's actually like a piece of an Android device and a piece of a Windows Surface and an iPad and like a piece of like a keyboard from like a laptop all put together.
Yeah.
That's what we should name him. That's what we should name him, is Collage.
Oh, collage, collage.
Piecemeal.
Collage.
This is what people talk about. Like, this is what people mean whenever they say R.I.P. in peace.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they
What?
talk about.
Do what?
Do what?
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 But he says, he had lived nearby because he's constantly sort of moving around in the swamps because people are always hunting for him. And while he lived there, he had befriended a small girl named Elsa, who he had met while she was wandering in the woods, or not in the woods, but like in the swamp, just playing. And, she wasn't afraid of him or terrified, and this was the first person he's met, like, basically ever, who didn't just scream and try to burn him to death. And so he made friends with her, and, he
Insert
says, why would
frozen
I, it was my only friend in the world, why would I have killed her and her friends? Yes.
That's it?
He made friends with the little girl in Hergstad.
Mm-hmm.
And you killed her?
It was one of the ones that was killed.
Because there's 6 kids that were killed.
I believe so.
How did you? I asked him. Were you present for when they died, or do you have any recollect? Like, how did you hear about their death? Just people accusing you, or was it just 1 minute she was alive and then another minute she was dead?
He starts to kind of like become very sad, and his eyes start to tear up, and he talks about how, she was just his friend, and she and the other children were killed by some sort of ghost that stole their souls that came in the night.
Hmm.
But the townsfolk found out about his, living nearby and immediately assumed it was him and accused him of it.
A ghost that came in the night. Did you see the ghost?
He says he only saw it briefly a few times, and then, a day later or so, he found Elsa's body, like dead out in sort of the sticks, and that's when he brought it back into town to kind of say, hey, something bad's going on, and that's when they just jumped the gun and accused him of it.
Can you tell me what the ghost looked like?
Just wisps of, gray and darkness and clouded shapes.
Did it say anything?
He says he never spoke with it.
What was, when you saw the ghost, what was it? I mean, was it just conversing with Elsa, or was it just watching?
He says he never actually saw the ghost with Elsa, but he's certain that was what killed it, or killed her. That thing.
What makes him so certain?
He says it's the only explanation that makes sense to him. There were no other threats to the girl or the children around the village at that time.
I'm going
As
to
he
do.
was pretty well aware that he scared most of the things off that might have been lurking in the swamp when he took up residence near there.
I'm going to do a knowledge of religion check to see if I know anything about a ghost in that area.
That'd be a knowledge local to know that there's a ghost in the area.
Oh,
I will
local?
I'll assist you
Okay.
with some local knowledge. Holy shit, you did really, really fucking good. Excellent, hey.
I'll still take some assistance.
Okay, sorry. I was trying
you
to
don't
find a
need any.
picture, okay, of Elsa to put
You do
on
know,
there.
like, you've picked up just from, like, hearing people talking when you guys were doing your performance with the Crooked Kin and all that. There were some rumors about some sort of ghost. You know, every once in a while someone might mention it, just roaming out on the swamps.
Okay.
Okay. Wait, I'm sorry, Jason. Could you say that one more time?
You do recall having heard something about people talking about a ghost rumored to be in the swamps in the area.
But I don't know what kind of ghost.
No.
It's a ghostly
Super
ghost.
apparition.
So that's what we need to focus on, whether or not we know anything about the ghost. The more, the likelihood of it being the ghost more than him, you know.
Yeah.
So, maybe that's what we needed to go do, is just ask around about the ghost and see, you know, what everybody else has seen or heard of it.
Well, that is the Herzog one is the day after tomorrow. So we need to ask him about. I know he said he doesn't remember anything about the most recent one, but we need to ask him about the small village of, what was it, Moratz? Their murders there.
Yeah, Moritz.
Moratz.
Yeah.
So I asked him, I was like, well, thank you for telling. I know that it's sad, and I'm sorry that you had to recount it, but we really need to know anything that you could tell us about the town of Moratz.
He shakes his head. He just says, I've never been there.
Jason, where is Moratz where are they at in correlation to Lepidstadt?
I'll assume that was directed at Barrister Koppel, to which he, kind of pulls out a map of the area so you can get sort of your bearings about where you're supposed to be going. And I just have to pull it up real quick. So can you guys see that?
No. Yeah.
Where is it at?
A journal thing should have just popped up.
Oh,
No, it's not there.
yeah.
Where?
Oh, wait, trial handbill?
Yeah, I see
no,
it.
it's
Yeah,
called
it's like.
No.
Lepidstadt
Oh,
area.
wait.
It's taking a little bit of time.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No,
There it
not
goes.
here yet.
I think it's just Roll20's being a little slow.
I'm gonna refresh and see.
Anyway, so he pulls out a map to kind of show you the area so you can kind of know where all these places are. And when it starts to...
Okay.
Forget that we have this journal thing.
All of our
So-
handy-dandy notes.
Yeah.
Whatever day that was that happened, can he recall where he was?
He's accused of doing it. The crime all happened a year ago at least, and so he says I don't remember exactly where I was a year ago,
The crime happened
but I
a
know it
year
wasn't
ago?
in Morast. Yeah, Morast was a year ago. Hergstag was like 7 months ago, and then the thing at Sanctuary was like 4 months ago.
Okay. Well, I turn to Gustav wherever he's at, and he's in the room with us, right?
Yeah, he went down there with you. I just didn't move his token.
Okay.
I asked him. I was like, "Well, what is what can you tell us about Morast?"
Let me swipe back. He pulls out his iPad and says, "Give me a second."
So many Apple products happening in Galarian.
Let's see. He says that in Morast about a year ago, there was just 10 people that were killed very suddenly in a night raid by the beast, allegedly.
Like, what did their bodies look like? Were they, like, mutilated, or, like, were they just dead, or, like, strangled, or what?
Most of their bodies were carried off and never seen again. So everyone assumed the beast ate them.
How do they know they're dead then?
I should say all
Okay.
their bodies.
So they disappeared.
They were seen to be killed by bludgeoning and other violent acts by the beast during the attack.
They were seen.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't kill everybody in the village. He just killed 10 people by the time the village got all their pitchforks and torches together. And people either saw him kill them or saw their limp, broke-necked bodies being drug off by him.
Do you have the names of who saw this?
Who's the witness for Morast? Oh my gosh. He says yes. There's the village elder whose name was Lasny, is the star witness being called for the prosecution.
He's the village elder.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So we can talk to this Lasny.
Lasny. He's probably an old curmudgeon.
You said the word curmudgeon.
I did.
It's a good word.
It is. Okay, that's all the information that he has on this.
Or for Morast, at least.
For Morast.
For
Morast.
So, okay, well, I guess never mind. This next question
Can
I
I-
have, I can just ask later.
Can I ask Collage, like, what his diet is? Like, does he normally eat people?
He insists that he mostly eats fish that he catches in the swamps. Sometimes waterfowl, if they're easy to catch.
Okay. Okay.
Eels,
Can I? Okay. Okay.
Slimy things.
crab, frogs.
Can he read a map? Oh.
Are you asking him that in the third person?
I'm sorry.
Are you asking? Are you asking fucking the lawyer right in front of him?
No, I'm
you read a
not.
map?
That was, yeah. Anyway. Ask Collage if he can read a map.
He says he can attempt to.
Oh, I don't want him to do it right now. I was just asking. So does he? Okay, never mind.
I guess I'm gonna ask. So, have you happened to Collage? Have you ever seen a weird kind of statue? It's It's like tentacly. It looks like something you'd see in a porno, but it's known as this sea sage effigy. I don't know if you even, you probably haven't even heard of it.
Yeah, he shakes his head and he says, "I have no idea what you're talking about."
Can I do diplomacy with that?
To do what?
To ask him all this? Or, I guess
Yeah,
he
you
said-
can.
Okay.
I mean, he's already answered you, but
Oh. Okay, then never mind. He already answered me.
Okay. So how about the next event thing? What was the
Arson.
place?
Is arson in Carbonyl? Carbonyl? Right?
the arson
Sanctuary.
was at Sanctuary, which is
Or Sanctuary.
as the barrister Koppel tells you, it's on a place called Carb Isle, but it's really just an isthmus. It's on an actual island. It's just kind of that name stuck,
You get carbs when you go there.
and it's just a way up the road. And he says the beast committed arson supposedly at the asylum, which resulted in the fiery deaths of the doctor who worked there and Dr. Brada, and all of
Brada.
the patients, and the blinding of his doctor's assistant, a man named Carl.
So is Carl the only witness then?
I believe so.
Carl?
Oh my god, Cat. Go away. Go get this balloon. Look! Sorry. Go get it. Okay. So, Carl.
With a
So-
K or a C?
The cave.
I wrote down K. I was just guessing.
Good
Okay.
job.
Write down
actually
C.
I didn't see too.
So
No. Carl Urban should have known.
that was about 4 months ago that happened, huh? Is that what you said? The arson.
Yes. Sorry. I was like, what about Carl Urban? What do you do?
deserved it out.
Sorry,
I was just like
Carl Urban
thinking
is
dreamily
okay.
about Carl Urban there for a little bit. I got distracted.
Oh
Cute.
yeah.
He is fantastic.
But yeah, that was about 4 months ago.
Keith Urban's a little better though. Okay.
So, do you like fire? How do you feel about fire? Collage.
College.
Collage.
He says he doesn't have a particular fear of fire, despite
You-
how many times people have tried to burn him alive.
So, do you have a liking for it, Do you think it's pretty?
He says fire's a tool. I don't like it or dislike it.
I'm gonna sense motive.
Cool. Good. You've read my mind.
And the sense motive is +10. 23.
You think he's telling the truth?
I kind of nod to everybody, like in an approving fashion, like he's telling the truth.
It's like we're built-in lie detectors. I love it.
Lemmy approves.
So, do you know how to start your own fire?
He says, well, yes, I have some intelligence.
Okay, well, I'm just checking, dude. Don't get your knickers untwist.
Is he wearing any clothes?
He has but tattered pants on.
Okay.
I asked him if he could tell us of his existence. Like, where did he come from?
What the fuck's he's made of?
Yeah, well, yeah. In different
Inside.
wording.
He gets a very somber look and he says, I won't talk about this right now.
But, I mean, it would have. I feel like this is important for us to be able to help your case. So that way people
looks at
just don't think you're a monster.
He just looks at the floor and remains silent.
Is there a point in time where you would be more comfortable talking about this that I could come back? Or, I mean, it's a little pressing. Can I roll a whatever is best for this situation check?
Hurry up, check.
Tell me what I want to know, check.
A spill your beans, check.
I guess it would be diplomacy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to help her.
She don't need it.
Despite your efforts, he still says, "I will not speak on these matters now."
I roll my eyes. It's not like we're trying to help you out or anything.
Silence from the beast.
Okay, well then I ask him, okay, well then you don't have to talk about that specifically. But I want you to understand that we're just trying to help you. And, I mean, is there anything that you feel like you can tell me?
He
Not
just
necessarily
says,
about your existence, but I mean, how long have you been living in the swamp? You know, kind of what you do on a day-to-day basis.
he says he's been